You're tuned in to Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk, live every weekday on the Nation Network YouTube.
We are live, Oilers Nation Everyday, a Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show, as always, coming to you live from the Sports Closet studio. I hate to do this. I hate that we got to get mad about this hockey team, but last night was absolutely miserable. So before we set up the game against Tampa, let's dissect whatever the hell we got against the Capitals with the lead. Did you have fun watching that game?
Well, I was stuck in Calgary. My plane was delayed. I had to go to Calgary for a barn burner sales meeting and drove down with sales guy Jared and then flew back and proceeded to get my flight get delayed. So missed watching the game live. So came home and crushed it. Oilers in 60. The J Downton home edition.
Just PVR'd and
crushed it. And so I didn't normally you get the time to get really mad about something, but it's all of a sudden I'm into the next play and then kind of getting upset or disappointed.
Yeah.
But then also all of a sudden seeing a lot of promise.
I mean, to be fair, they almost came back.
But we played a team that was absolutely decimated, which is very on brand for the Oilers to lose and come down and play down to that team's level. And when we play a team that's beat up or not that good, but that's just a game we should have won. And I also hammered the puck line.
Me too.
And that should have been a slam dunk.
Yeah, that was wildly disappointing. I did another Oilers Nation watch along last night for that hockey game. And
How was it? And it's I couldn't even jump in. I was sitting on a plane for 2 hours not moving. Anyways.
Also,
venting.
Is there anything worse than being stuck and getting your flight delayed when you're only in Calgary?
Yeah.
You could have just drove almost.
Well,
the roads were bad.
Jared is down there for the week.
There,
so, and I'm okay, I'll come in and out. I thought it was genius to be home by 5:30.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know about you, but I had to shovel a crap ton of snow this morning.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be miserable right now, I think is what we're getting.
We're getting it from all ends,
But anyways, the stream was good. We had a lot of really fun and gave away $25. Dr. Gonzo's back in the chat. He won it. He picked McDavid to score first. And he was one of the only people that did, so it was an easy dub for Dr.
What
Gonzo.
A goal.
What a goal. And that's why it was such a roller coaster, because I was McDavid scores that beauty. They're back in it. And they just, every time you'd get really pissed off, they'd bring you right back in. And then they would do 6 more just stupid, brain-dead things. Evander Kane, worst game of the season. Evan Bouchard, dumb penalty. Tyler Yamamoto absolutely deserved to be benched. Warren Fogle could not get a sniff of doing anything remotely positive in that game. We could list 12 things that were either dumb, individual plays that were dumb, or players who were awful in that game, and they lost by 1.
I know. That's the funny thing. Despite themselves, they almost won the game. Things you got to, McDavid's goal is beautiful.
Yeah.
You got to give Zach Hyman, in a game where we're playing crappy, that guy has still brought his hard hat on his lunch pail to work, and he is getting after it. Him stripping, beating Ovi to that race and stripping of the puck, and then, throwing it up in the air and Nuge batting it in. That alone to me is okay, we got this. We're back. That to me was that was a quasi shorthanded goal.
Yep.
So I'm we're back. This will wait. This is livening up. We're just we're a little brain dead right now, but we're coming through the fog and we're going to just lay it to them, and puck line's going to come back and I'm going to feel really good about myself. But it was we just yeah, sure. We can get mad at Jack Campbell. You can get mad at a lot of people, but I don't know what it is. We are not the same team in front of Jack Campbell. We are not. Defensively, we are not. We hang him out to dry. And I'm not using that as a mechanism to defend Jack Campbell, because could he have made an extra save? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But we just let him get shelled. And this is a team that isn't that good on paper.
No. Well, it was Skinner yesterday, right?
Oh, shit. I knew it was.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
We didn't play
Anyways,
great in front of Stu. But
we didn't play great in front of Stu.
The interesting thing was Skinner, I thought, had a really good game, but there's only so much he can do when it's Kuznetsov wide open backdoor on the power play, Strome wide open in the slot on the power play, Ovechkin wide open somehow from his office on the power play, easy tap in 2-on-1 at the end. Like, what can, like, that game was not on Stuart Skinner at all.
Or Jack Campbell.
Yeah. Well, yes, it obviously wasn't.
Because I was late and watched it rushed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am sorry, and I know my credibility has been tarnished.
Yes, it has. We should have some sort of punishment. Alex should just like black you out for the next 2 minutes. You should have to sit in the box like the Oilers did.
It's because I'm on, like, I'm triggered because Jack is getting flamed at right now.
Yeah,
And,
he is.
and he even said, I'm playing pathetic, which is a very damning self-deprecating thing to say, which tells me I'm a little bit concerned about how hard he's being on himself at the moment. But that was like, that's maybe why I thought Jack Campbell was in net, because we played as if Jack Campbell was in net. And even Stuart Skinner couldn't hold up to the task because they are high danger chances.
Early in the season, when this team lost those few games in a row, what was it, right? They lost to Calgary, then they lost to Buffalo, and they were 1-2, and they lost 2-0 to St. Louis. I wasn't like that irritated because those were all 1-goal games if you take out the empty netters. And I get that last night was also a 1-goal game, but I'm at like a certain level of irritation with this team right now, just because you drop back-to-back games, lose to New Jersey, lose to Dallas. Those are both good teams, and that's fine. But if you're going to lose to the good teams, you got to make up for it and go pedal to the GD floor against the bad teams. And Washington, playoff contender, sure, cannot score, started Charlie Lindgren between the pipes, and you came out so flat and so terrible.
His numbers aren't that bad, though, Charlie Lindgren.
Give up 3 goals in every game heading into this one. And they still put 4 past him, so like whatever. Yeah. But just there were so many reasons why the Oilers should have blown out Washington last night. And for them to just, and it's not like Washington played that good. That was self-inflicted. And that's why I'm just really irritated.
We beat ourselves.
Because I think that says something about this team.
You know, we're kind of also sounding like Leafs fans where we're just saying everything's on fire. And we've shown some promise this season. And we're gonna lose to the Arizonas of the world. Just like the Leafs lost to the Arizonas of the world. In fact, it was Arizona.
They lost to Arizona.
At home.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like super critical at this moment and be like, the sky is falling, but like, I'm definitely disappointed.
But, and the other thing too is, again, when they were losing those games in October, I was like, okay, it's early in the season. Also, you looked ahead to what they had coming up. There was a game against Chicago. You know, they were still in a homestand at that point. Now you're sitting here staring down the barrel of your most difficult 3 consecutive games of the season.
But like, this is where like the Oilers will be like, okay, they're going to win 2 of 3. And then we're going to be like, okay, this isn't that bad. Like they still can do it. That's the thing. They got the firepower. But one thing that we're continually being exposed on this season is our defensive lapses.
Yeah.
And I'm now starting to see the chatter more on social media saying we need to do something about our defense now. And this is something we have collectively been saying as a company since the offseason.
We talk about it in our meetings.
Literally, we talk about it in our meetings. Like, because it's so easy to talk about because it is a glaring issue. It's not even a company issue for us, but it's the only issue we have in our company at the moment. Actually, that's a lie. We always have plenty.
Yeah, I was gonna
Everything's
say.
on fire at all times. That is how we roll. But
we got sidetracked.
It's well, this is what we do. This is what we do. We get sidetracked. But I'm just saying, like, I have to take that side because we can't, like, they're going to go and win these games and then we're going to be okay. And then they're going to slump and then that. And it's because we don't, like, we got to fix some of our foundation so we can stop, you know, some of these situations from happening. But also, like, you're right. Like, you pointed out a bunch of players, forwards that really disappointed us that led to goals. Their mistakes, like bonehead mistakes.
That Bouchard cross-check at the end, if you want to be a guy who's going to be on the ice late in games, 1-goal games, you got to have your head screwed on straight.
Yeah, but that isn't the one you have to hang your hat on. There was many
that resulted in another shorthanded goal against, and they lost by 1. That was the 5th goal.
But there was like 30 seconds left.
Two and a half.
Wasn't it early? I really watched this on fast forward. I've got a different perspective of this game. Wasn't it like with like
It was 2.5 minutes left. They were down by 1. Washington scored, and then Edmonton scored again. Nuge scored with a minute left.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now we're all caught up. Anyway.
Oh, you know what happened?
You fast forwarded through all that.
No, because once that happened, I was like, this game's toast.
You turned it off?
Because it's late. It's now like 11:30 and like 8 p.m. is my bedtime. So I didn't even see the end. Okay.
We are live.
You're welcome, everyone, for this amazing insight.
We are live on the Nation Network YouTube right now, and the chat is absolutely buzzing. If you're watching, I see there is just over 40 of you, and I see there are only 10 likes. Please hammer that like button for us. Rusty says, tough loss. I don't know why the PK is so bad. Right now, discipline.
So bad.
Right now, discipline will make or break this team until the PK gets figured out. I'm glad it's back-to-back tonight. We can move on. Rusty, the eternal optimist.
I love it, Rusty. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, we go win tonight, and then we just forget about the last 5 days.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's a big win in Tampa. Can we do it? Absolutely. We need strong team defense, more discipline. We need to be able to kill a goddamn penalty. Sorry, a GD penalty. Tyler Yaremchuk. And we can, like, we've got the firepower. It can happen. And it'll be annoying that it happened because it's like, we just played Washington the night before. That should have been an easy one.
Twisted says the team seems to have lost their confidence. We lost our ability to build momentum off of scoring goals, and our PK is going to end up at the bottom of the league at this rate. Well, it's 31st, so more or less.
But we were like tops of the league last year.
I
So
know.
what's changed?
Well, yeah, last year was, yeah.
It's not personnel, unless you want to talk about goaltending.
Well, that's interesting because Liam was looking into the numbers of the goaltending at 5-on-5 and the goaltending taking everything into account. And Liam, it's remarkable how much better the numbers look at 5-on-5.
It is crazy, to be honest. Like, you look at it here, it's on the screen now. Stuart Skinner, a 133 goals against and a 953 save percentage. And Jack Campbell's save percentage is just about 900 at 5-on-5. And, you know, this team just has to be better in front of them. And it just shows how the penalty kill has been poor. There was the only person who's really missing from this penalty kill from last season is Duncan Keith. And losing one player shouldn't make that big of a difference. Just collectively, they just got to band together and just figure it out. And tonight, I don't know, with no practices, it might be tough, and especially going against Tampa Bay. But one way or another, this team's going to have to turn things around 5-on-5 because it's literally losing them games.
The PK is the number one reason they lost that game last night. And again, it's frustrating because they almost overcame having like a historically bad night on the penalty kill. But you brought up Duncan Keith as the only guy that's missing. And I want to find who said it in the chat to give them proper credit for this one. But someone said, you know, does this team miss Duncan Keith more? It's Ski Bum 1230. We're missing Duncan Keith. He settled everything down. Now the team just keeps panicking and flails. I don't think they miss Duncan Keith. I think this is just exposing that they're missing a
Veteran
reliable defenseman.
Well, yeah, and you can't be knee jerk and panicky on a penalty kill. You have to be calm and poised because you need to try to. You need to try to read the play and break it up and then do the right thing to get it away or out of the zone, away from the other team. Like, so if you're getting crazy and you're forcing things, which is you're seeing it, like Bouchard's penalty, which I did see. That's just him forcing something. Like, he's trying to force it all of a sudden. Like, Dad's trying to be meaner, I'm noticing, right? And it doesn't come off as genuine. It's coming off as forced. So that was like his attempt to do that, and it was bonehead. Now, that easily his stick could have been like half a foot lower, and then it's not, that type of penalty.
Maybe it goes to over. Yeah.
So like, but like still, like, why are you even thinking about that elevation? And also, like, we're trying to keep the puck in the zone. So why are you even going for that? So like, it was bonehead on a lot of levels.
But there were the plays too, like that was bonehead play. The ones I was losing my mind about on the stream is Evander Kane kept knocking down the puck with a high stick, and he killed 2 substantial offensive zone runs. Like, they were cycling the puck, they were looking dangerous, and Evander Kane, for some reason, high sticks 2 pucks, and it's done. And then he turns it over right at the end, and that killed their any hope at a final shot on net for them.
But it was the whole team, so it's if Mercury was in retrograde, and all of a sudden your electronics don't work. Like, it was like the team was in some weird state of mind, and they just couldn't get it done. Obviously, Connor McDavid shows up and looks great. Leon even made some good two-way plays. Hyman always brings his motor to work. Nuge, you I love you, Nuge.
Yeah.
You just keep being Nuge. And then just everything around them just wasn't working.
A lot of people blaming my ice beer from last night. So I said I wasn't going to drink last night. Then after the second period, I was like, I need a beer. Had no beers in the fridge.
Yeah.
So I just poured one into a glass and threw some ice cubes in it. Is that weird? Killed the flavor of the beer. It sucked. It was a terrible beer.
You're better just chuck it in the freezer for 5 minutes.
I know I should have, but I was streaming.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, let's put that Washington game behind us. Let's start focusing on.
Just wait. You're British.
I am.
You like your beer warm, do you not?
Every now and then I'm mixing a warm beer.
Well, then mix in a warm beer because that's where you get the full flavor from.
Like a Guinness.
Like a Guinness. Yeah, don't drink Guinness cold.
Yeah, well, my dad would put beer in the closet, not the fridge.
And just,
I don't say I agree with it.
Yeah.
But he's like, this is how the Brits drink the beer.
Okay. Well, maybe lukewarm beer is the key to a victory tonight for the Oilers.
Well, ice beer did not work. Only warm beers tonight, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the Sherwood Ford Giant pregame edition or part of this show. Let's put that loss against Washington behind us. Tonight, Oilers lineup-wise, I don't know what you can do. Unless you're going to go 11-7. Holloway and Yamamoto benched for pretty much the entire game. Back half of the game, they didn't play. So what do you do what do you do with the forward group tonight? We got the lines up on the screen here. This is what they started with last game. By the end, it was just a mishmash of whatever. What do you do?
Get Puljujarvi off the first line. I am so done with
I thought he had a good game last night.
He made a couple great plays. I do agree, but it's just him and Connor don't jive.
They don't.
That's the thing. So like get him off of Connor's line. They don't jive.
Mm-hmm.
Have him go and be a third line. It's nothing wrong being a third liner. Go and create that havoc and be the playmaker that you can be. I'm not like dumping on the player. You can't. Some players don't have chemistry. Like David Krejci. Only certain players can play with that guy because he's on another planet and does his own thing. Puljujarvi is of that ilk. So like put him on a different line. Do not disrupt Connor McDavid's jam.
So yesterday, there were only 2 combinations of lines that outshot the Capitals at 5-on-5.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to hear it because Puljujarvi is going to be part of it, both of them.
In 1:07 together, Draisaitl, McDavid, and Nuge outshot them 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
But that was short sample size. McDavid, Nuge, and Puljujarvi in 8:48 outshot him 5-2. I don't know.
I know. And it drives me crazy. So everyone says, well, he makes Connor McDavid better. And I'm like, oh, man, there's a few, like, I want people to watch. There's players on the team that don't trust him enough.
I know.
And then we'll look off him as he is the number one pass option, and they will elect not to do it. And I'm not trying to dump on the player. It's just put him in the right situation. Put him in the right situation.
Okay, so let's Freaky Friday style. You are inside Jay Woodcroft's mind right now.
Woo.
You have overtaken Jay Woodcroft.
I'm thinking about my child acting career right now.
What are you doing? What are you doing with this forward group?
I'm taking Puljujarvi off the first line.
Okay, so who are you playing with McDavid?
I would honestly put. Man, like, why all of a sudden do we look at this lineup and you're like, man, our bottom 6 is kind of a dog's breakfast, even though I love Ryan McLeod. Like, do you move Ryan McLeod up? Do you move Holloway up? Do you try to, Yamo's trying to do everything he can to break his hex. He's got the new white tape job.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that on my Oilers in 60. Caught that detail. Maybe you move him up. I don't know. I don't know. We stopped taking so many goddamn penalties because we can't kill them. We got to start drawing more penalties.
I would say if you gave me the choice of what to do tonight, I'd go McDavid on the top line.
Really?
With Hyman on the right side. I'm talking. Let me finish the thought. McDavid with Hyman on the right side. I go Holloway on the left side. If you're going to play him second to back-to-backs, maybe he's got some juice because he only played like 80 seconds last night. Play him in the top 6. Screw it. So I'd go McDavid with Holloway and Hyman. I would then go Draisaitl with Nuge and Kane. I'd flip Kane to his off wing. My third line would be McLeod, Puljujarvi, and Fogle, I guess. And then my fourth line is Ryan, Shore, and Yamamoto. I'd give Holloway a real good look tonight, and just you need something to stick. You need someone to give you energy. So I would give Holloway a bunch of minutes early on in this game and see if he's got some jam. Liam, what would you do?
Yeah, put him with McDavid. See,
they look good in there, like 3 minutes together at the end of the Dallas
There's
game.
so many times when Holloway's on the ice when he's doing things. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's Holloway. Like, if you could put Josh Archibald on McDavid's wing, and almost every time that happens, Archibald scores. With a decent percentage.
Yeah.
Like, I'd always bet the Archibald goal anytime he got the chance with McDavid, and it hit, not every time, but a high percentage. Like, yeah, I am totally down that. Insulate it with, I don't necessarily think you have to move Hyman up, but then you'd have to put Nugent on his off wing, right? Is that why? So okay, then I agree with the logic. So I don't disagree with you, Tyler, but I thought it was very brave of you to put McDavid as the first line center.
Dr. Gonzo says he'd go back with McDavid, Nuge, and Hyman, and that's a good line too. I'd consider doing that as well. I have a funny feeling that might be what we see. And he says he'd go back to what we saw early, which was Holloway with Draisaitl and Yamamoto. But agreeing,
no, you can't. You can only have one of the two. You can't have both up there right now.
Yeah, I don't.
We can't pump two players up at the same time on one line.
Yeah, 100%. Let us know in the chat what you want to see the Oilers run with.
McLeod? Like, can we move McLeod up to the top six?
But then what are you doing down the middle on that?
Well, then you move Holloway to the third line center and Derek Ryan to fourth, or reverse. You put Derek Ryan as center, and on the third line you bring Puljujarvi down to the third line. Like, who was the fourth line that was buzzing the last? It was Ryan, Fogle.
It was Ryan, Shore, Holloway.
Ryan, Shore, Holloway. Okay, they were making some noise.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know.
We'll see. No skate today, so we're not going to know until warm-ups how the Oilers are lining up. Also, 5:30 puck drop tonight. So a bit of a weird start time for the Oilers. On the opposite side, the Tampa Bay Lightning, here's how they're going to line up for this evening's hockey game. Braden Point will center Nikita Kucherov and Brandon Hagel. Nikita Kucherov has 10 points in his last 5 games, 5 goals, 5 assists. Nick Paul on the second line with Steven Stamkos and Alex Killorn. Nick Paul, 3 goals in his last 5 games. This Lightning team is buzzing. Cole Koepke, Vlad Nemesnikov, Ross Colton is the third line. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare with our former friend Patrick Maroon, and Corey Perry is the fourth line. That is a fourth line that will be a pain in your ass.
That is a good fourth line.
It's a good fourth line.
That's a good fourth line.
The fourth line is better than their third line. Anyways,
or maybe they're just 2 third lines. A really good team doesn't have a fourth line.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it is for the Lightning. Hedman with Chernak, Sergachev with Nicholas Perbix, who I've never heard of. Said his name for literally the first time.
Well, let's focus on that guy.
Yeah,
I don't know who that guy is. Let's focus on him.
Ian Cole and Cal Foote is the third D pairing. I believe it's going to be Andrei Vasilevsky between the pipes tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He is the likely starter over on dailyfaceoff.com. Jack Campbell is the likely starter for the Edmonton Oilers in this one. If you want to know how Tampa Bay has been doing recently, 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. They're 7-4-1 on the season. Last time out, they scored 5 goals and beat the Buffalo Sabres. So they're playing pretty good hockey right now, is my point.
We were also playing pretty good hockey.
I know. Things can change in a hurry.
And
7 seconds.
We can, yes, and we can be, yeah, geez. I wonder how we would have been tonight if we would have won that game. Or how we would have been on Saturday.
Because Skinner probably would have started Saturday, and then domino.
I know. It's amazing how it plays out. So we got Jackie Boy tonight.
Likely.
Hopefully, because we love to play down, hopefully we can play up. Like, this is
an Oilers thing to do. They play down, then they play up.
Exactly. So I expect big things from McDavid tonight, because he's just gonna, like, this is his ultimate challenge. Like, this is a team that's won multiple Stanley Cups over the last few years. Like, this is a nice measuring stick. Like, obviously we do not measure up to them at all, and especially on the defensive side. But our horsepower, this is what we use to compensate. And if we can play okay in front of Jack, and allow Jack to, a chance to succeed. But I'm worried he's going to get shelled. I'm worried this is just going to be a high scoring game. The only way that we win this is if we literally, it's a track meet.
Our producer Alex texted me during the show, and because he does Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton. He says, and Ottawa as well, our new Ottawa show. He said, every show is the same theme right now. Everyone hates their team.
I know, and I don't want to try to be
Canadian
that.
market's happy.
I don't hate the Oilers. I love the Oilers. I love them so much. Right now, we're just going through a bit of a funk.
Yep.
And we're getting like the Maple Leafs blues, where we're just like wanting to dump on the team. But like, I also understand why it's so easy to do it when you see them play the Capitals like they did last night. You just want to smack your head against the wall.
Let's get into our bets for this evening, courtesy of our friends at Betway. I lost my shirt last night, so let's hope I'm not touching the Oilers, but they are plus 140 underdogs on our on Betway, plus 200 to win this game in regulation. If you maybe like this thing to be high scoring, over 6.5 is paying minus 125. But Liam, what do you like?
I'm going with that high scoring game. I think that's the only way the Oilers win this game. The way the penalty kill is, I'm just assuming they're gonna probably concede a couple on there, and then it's gonna keep Draisaitl's streak alive. Goals in 4 straight, so we'll just keep it going too. And if the Oilers want to win this game, the Stars are just gonna have to show up and be big for them, like they are pretty much every night anyway. So Draisaitl goal and over 6.5. And I went 2 for 2 last night with the Darnell Nurse point and the McDavid shots.
Ah, attaboy.
How dare you win money on such a disappointing game?
I know,
Right.
and it was the Nugent Hopkins goal that got me the Nurse one too, so it left me right till the end. But
Nice.
Well,
What do you
I'm
like
happy
tonight?
for you?
Can Connor stay at a goal per game?
I mean, you can't, like, the guy is shooting, like, he's shooting when you never think, like, from weird angles now. Like, the guy is just so shot happy, which I
Yeah.
love.
It's pretty wild how he's averaging a goal a game, and you can still get him at plus 105 to find the back of the net tonight.
Yeah, so I think this, like, and Connor's been pretty good of it against Vasilevsky. Now, that's just anecdotal. I'm not pulling any stats on this, but I feel like he's done pretty good against Vasilevsky. So, yeah, this is going to be, I think the over is a great bet. I would normally say parlay that with an Oilers win, and I still might, but I might not go as heavy as I did last night on the puck line. And yeah, Connor definitely is gonna have to be a factor tonight. Same with Leon. So both of them to definitely go over 1.5 points, which doesn't pay the most dearest. But
No.
once again, this is just a confidence game. We're also running low and feel defeated,
Yeah.
right? And we're going into Tampa being like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? So this is just let's get some easy wins and kind of build that betting momentum back up.
For me, I'm tempted to just dabble in some shot props. Earlier today on Daily Faceoff, Nikita Kucherov was one of my favorite shot props. Over 3.5. I think that's a really good bet. I also like Caulfield and Horvat tonight. Elsewhere around the NHL, I like the
So you're
Senators.
supporting the Oilers at all
Oh, yeah.
costs.
I like the Senators and the Golden Knights to win. So if you want some of my NHL best bets,
That's
those are that.
you know it's bad.
Yeah. For the Oilers game tonight,
Hyman shot prop?
missed it yesterday. So I do like him to bounce back at plus 105. And I think I also like the Evander Kane shot prop. He had just a miserable game yesterday, as I've pointed out a handful of times already. And I think maybe he's the kind of guy who'll be like, okay, I got to bounce back tonight. He'll start ripping the puck. He had just one shot yesterday. He's missed on his shot prop in back-to-back. So I'll say Kane and Hyman are the 2 shot props I'm backing tonight. There you go.
Just win the game.
You mentioned Connor McDavid, good against the Lightning. You just said that as a hunch,
Yeah.
but you're correct.
I
8
know.
goals in 8 career games for McDavid
I
against the
felt like he
Lightning.
does well. So there you go. So let's go 9 for 9. Let's go.
Yeah, and 5 of those 8 goals coming at even strength as well. So let's see if the Oilers can get a little something going at 5-on-5. Sherwood 4 giant keys to the game to wrap up today's show. I will raise my hand, and I will take the obvious one. Stay out of the penalty box. Layup.
Yeah, well, you know what? Then the counterpoint to that is learn to kill a penalty.
Yeah. Liam, key to the game?
I'll stay away from the PK, and I'll just say those secondary guys got to step up and provide something to this team. That's Puljujarvi, Fogel, Yamamoto, whoever else. Like, you can't just rely on those guys. And if you want to be the best teams, everybody has to show up.
Yeah, I think that's bang on. You need to get some sort of depth, and your penalty kill needs to not be atrocious tonight. That is our consensus. Sherwood 4 giant keys to the game. Before we wrap up today's show, because the chat is buzzing right now, McKay says McDavid's last 2 games against Tampa, he's gotten 2 goals in each of those games. So maybe that's something to consider.
2+ goals, that'll pay nice.
Yeah. DJ says we need a save. That is his Sherwood 4 giant key to the game. Michael says he would run McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nuge down the middle with 4 sets of wingers. Kane and Puljujarvi, Holloway and Hyman, McLeod and Yamo, Fogle and Ryan. I would do that, but I would have McLeod as a center instead of Nuge. I don't think he's a center.
No, Nuge he's a winner for life now.
Yeah. DJ adds, we can't just keep winning high-scoring games. Yeah,
no, I mean, you're right, but right now we don't have a choice because we can't defend.
Yeah. How good would it feel if Jack Campbell just comes through tonight and steals one? That would make my heart feel so good.
I would feel really good for Jack Campbell because, like I said, what he said about his game was very damning and also, like, it's concerning. We know he's hard on himself.
Yeah.
And for him to publicly say that, I'm hoping for Jack. I'm hoping for Jack, and I hope the Oilers are also hoping for Jack and play well in front of him. We can. I know we're not the best defensive team, but we can clamp it down. We can. Seen it.
You're going to need to show it tonight. Oilers Lightning, 5:30 Mountain Time is the start. This has been another Sherwood for Giant edition of Oilers Nation Everyday. As always, brought to you by our friends at the Sports Closet. Sportscloset.ca is where you can find them. They got gift cards as well. That's an E. If you got a sports fan in your life you got to shop for, go pick up a Sports Closet gift card. There you go. Your holiday shopping's done.
I was going to say, Christmas is right around the corner, man.
Locally owned, so support local this holiday season. They got 3 locations, Kingsway Mall, St. Albert Mall, Sherwood Park Mall as well. For Liam, Jay, our technical producer, Alex Allard. Shout out to everyone who is active in the chat. Tell a friend about a show, and we will be back tomorrow. Enjoy the game tonight, everybody.